The government's top priority right now is reducing the threat of COVID-19. That's according to the speech from the throne this week. But while numbers continue to climb, the Premier is musing aloud about perhaps easing restrictions a bit in time for Christmas. So will COVID be the Grinch to Scott Moe, or will the Premier get his Christmas miracle? We're joined by CBC Saskatchewan political reporter Adam Hunter. Adam, how did the government set the stage for the fall sitting?
Well, just a 2-week fall sitting, and Fiona, as you mentioned, they said in that speech that their top priority is reducing the spread of COVID-19. They also thanked people involved in the healthcare effort, educators, first responders, workers, and in general the people of the province for doing their part to combat the virus and try and get those numbers trending in the other direction. Now, they also talked about their election promises in the throne speech, and that includes things that were announced this week, like the Sask Power 1-year rebates, also the home renovation tax credit, reducing fees for seniors when it comes to ambulances or going between healthcare facilities, and also brought back the small business emergency fund, something that was around earlier this year when businesses were forced to lock down. And Fiona, this is something we're hearing from businesses, both small and medium-sized, who are saying that COVID-19 and the restrictions that are putting in place and telling people to stay home really has an effect on what they can do and how much money they can make, and they need help to survive. So that's one thing the government announced just yesterday.
Well, speaking of staying at home, what is the government talking about when it comes to the Christmas holidays?
Yeah, Fiona, you said the Premier was musing, and I think that is a fair assessment of what he said. It started on Monday with Premier Scott Moe saying, he was hopeful that if the numbers were positive and looked okay, that may creep up, were his words, the gathering limit from 5 to a higher number just for a short time over Christmas so people could see family. But we heard this week from Dr. Shahab, who said he would be comfortable with cases under 120 new cases a day. Right now, we're averaging around 260 to 270 over the last 7 days, so well above that 120 mark. Dr. Shahab said we would pay the price if we eased any restrictions over Christmas. And it sounds like the government, Fiona, is going to wait until December 17th, perhaps just 8 days before Christmas, to make that decision. Dr. Shahab also saying this week he doesn't recommend interprovincial travel. We know that Manitoba and Alberta are kind of going back and forth on the highest per capita numbers of COVID, with Saskatchewan right behind over the last number of weeks.
So now we know there have been a number of outbreaks declared, including a fairly large one at the Saskatoon Correctional Centre, and that had the NDP out for blood this week. Adam, how did that unfold?
Yeah, we've seen and we've done some great reporting, our Dan Zakreski, on the outbreaks at the correctional facility in Saskatoon. And the NDP's Nicole Starr, who's their justice critic, said that Minister Christine Tell should no longer be the Minister of Corrections, that this is her responsibility to keep the inmates and the staff at the correctional facility safe. We know earlier this week there were over 100 infections when you look at both inmates and staff. Christine Tell, the minister, saying that she wasn't going to look into how COVID got into the correctional facility. She said it was inevitable, really, when it was spreading this much in the community. And so that was the reason for the criticism from the NDP.
Thank you so much, Adam.
You're welcome.
Adam Hunter covers politics for CBC Saskatchewan.